Moonlight Inn, a centuries-old establishment tucked away in a forgotten corner of the countryside, had long been shrouded in an aura of dark mystery. Its time-worn walls whispered tales of haunted rooms, unexplained disappearances, and the tormented souls of those who had vanished within its confines. No one dared to spend a night there except for the brave, the curious, or the downright foolish. Lena, a young and adventurous journalist, had heard the stories, but dismissed them as superstition. Determined to prove the inn's sinister reputation wrong, she decided to spend a night alone there, armed with her skepticism and a recorder to document her experience. The inn's exterior was as eerie as its reputation, with ivy-covered stone walls and windows that seemed to peer into the darkness like unblinking eyes. Lena pushed open the heavy wooden door and was met with a gust of cold air that seemed to welcome her inside. The innkeeper, an elderly man with a shock of white hair and eyes that held a hint of sadness, greeted Lena with a weary smile. He handed her an antique iron key and warned, "Be careful, dear. Once you cross that threshold, there's no telling what might happen." Lena brushed off his ominous words and ascended the creaking staircase to her room, the key feeling ice cold in her hand. She chose the room with the most chilling reputation, room 13. It was said that those who stayed there often vanished without a trace. The room was dimly lit by a flickering candle, its dancing flames casting eerie shadows on the cracked wallpaper. Lena set up her recorder on the nightstand, determined to capture any strange occurrences. As the night wore on, Lena's skepticism began to waver. The air grew icy, and the walls seemed to close in around her. She heard faint whispers, voices that murmured unintelligible words, as if the very walls of the inn were alive. Suddenly, the candle extinguished itself, plunging the room into utter darkness. Panic set in, but Lena quickly fumbled for her flashlight. When the beam of light pierced the obscurity, she gasped in terror. The room had transformed. The cracked wallpaper now depicted scenes of torment and despair. Figures, their faces twisted in anguish, writhed and screamed in silent torment. Lena's heart pounded in her chest as she realized she was witnessing the suffering of those who had disappeared into the inn's depths. Desperate to escape the room's malevolent aura, Lena rushed toward the door, but whispers surrounded her, growing louder and more sinister with each passing second. "Stay with us," they urged, their voices filled with malevolence. "You cannot escape." Lena's recorder, which had fallen to the floor during her frantic escape attempt, began to emit an otherworldly static. The room seemed to pulse with a sinister energy, and Lena felt herself being pulled toward the bed. Terrified, Lena fought against the unseen force, but it was as if the very room itself had come alive, determined to claim her as its own. She screamed for help, but her cries were swallowed by the room's malevolent presence. As Lena struggled, a spectral figure materialized at the foot of the bed. It was a woman, her eyes hollow and her expression one of eternal torment. She reached out a spectral hand toward Lena, her fingers icy cold. "Join us," the ghostly woman whispered, her voice a haunting echo. Lena's vision blurred, and she felt herself being dragged toward the bed, her body growing numb. She realized that she was becoming one of the tormented souls trapped within the inn's cursed walls. Just as Lena was about to succumb to the room's sinister embrace, a distant chime broke through the darkness. The innkeeper's voice called out from beyond the door, "Time to leave, dear." In an instant, the room's malevolent grip released Lena. She stumbled backward, gasping for breath, her heart pounding in her chest. The room had returned to its normal state, the wallpaper no longer depicting scenes of torment. With trembling hands, Lena unlocked the door and rushed out of room 13, leaving the inn behind. She never returned, and Moonlight Inn remained a place of dread and mystery, where the curious and the foolish still dared to venture, but few ever returned to tell the tale. Lena's recording, captured during those harrowing moments, became a chilling legend, a testament to the horrors that lurked within the walls of Moonlight Inn, and a warning to those who dared to seek answers in places best left undisturbed. regenerate. Years passed, and Lena's harrowing experience at Moonlight Inn became a legend whispered in hushed tones among thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts. The inn remained an enigma, drawing those who craved the thrill of the unknown. One gloomy autumn evening, a group of friends decided to spend a night at Moonlight Inn, determined to uncover the truth behind the terrifying tales. Among them was Lucas, a skeptic who had always scoffed at the idea of supernatural forces. He was convinced that there was a rational explanation for Lena's ordeal. The inn had changed little over the years. The ivy-covered walls still exuded an eerie presence, and the innkeeper's weary gaze remained as haunting as ever. Lucas and his friends booked multiple rooms, determined to explore the mysteries that lurked within. As night descended upon the inn, Lucas found himself alone in room 13, the very room where Lena had faced her terrifying ordeal. He set up cameras and recording equipment, determined to capture any evidence of the paranormal. But unlike Lena, he scoffed at the legends that surrounded the inn. Hours passed, and Lucas felt a growing unease as he reviewed the footage from his cameras. Strange shadows seemed to dance in the corners of the room, and chilling whispers echoed in the background. He dismissed it all as mere coincidence, attributing it to the power of suggestion. Lucas decided to take a break and explore the inn's darkened hallways. He descended the creaking staircase and wandered through the dimly lit corridors. The air grew colder with each step, and he began to hear faint whispers, like distant cries for help. As he ventured deeper into the inn's labyrinthine passages, Lucas realized he had lost his way. Panic set in as he tried to retrace his steps, but the hallways seemed to shift and change, leading him further into the inn's dark heart. Suddenly, the whispers grew louder, their words becoming more distinct. "Help us," they pleaded, their voices filled with desperation. Lucas felt a shiver run down his spine as he realized he was not alone. Turning a corner, he came face to face with a spectral figure, a woman with hollow eyes and an expression of eternal torment. It was the same ghostly woman Lena had encountered years ago. "Join us," she whispered, reaching out a ghostly hand toward Lucas. In a blind panic, Lucas fled down the hallways, the oppressive darkness pressing in on him. He tried to call out for help, but his voice was drowned out.
Years passed, and Moonlight Inn continued to stand as a dark and foreboding sentinel on the countryside, its reputation as a place of unsolved mysteries and paranormal occurrences undiminished. Lucas's harrowing experience, much like Lena's, became a cautionary tale shared among those who dared to seek answers where darkness dwelled. One day, a team of paranormal investigators arrived at Moonlight Inn. Led by Dr. Isabella Hartman, a renowned expert in the field, the team was determined to uncover the truth behind the inn's supernatural reputation. They brought an arsenal of advanced equipment, from electromagnetic field detectors to night vision cameras, hoping to capture evidence of the otherworldly. As night descended upon the inn, the investigators split into teams and ventured into different parts of the building. Dr. Hartman chose to spend the night in room 13, the epicenter of the inn's haunting legends.